Okay, folks, it is Matthew here, and we are back playing Criminal Case on Facebook. We are now in the Eurasia District of the World Edition of Criminal Case, where we will begin case number 13. And as you can see, I've already got 3 reports from 3 of the characters, Jack, Carmen, and Marina. So, let's get going. I've already done 3 cases in Elite mode. Moscow Mole, is the 13th case. Matthew, Chief Ripley and I would like a quick word with you. I know there's some hard feelings about what happened in Europe, Matthew. Misleading you was a difficult but necessary decision. But it works exactly as I'd hoped. But here it no longer poses a threat, and you've made progress in learning about Sombra. However, if we're to take down an international terrorist organization, it's essential that you learn to trust me again. There's no time for group hugs, though. We're here in Russia to assist Natasha Romanova, the head of the country's space agency, and incidentally, Marina's mother. I'll let her brief you on the situation, but I will say this. There could be disastrous consequences worldwide if Natasha's suspicions prove to be true. Pleased to meet you, Sheriff Matthew. I appreciate you're very busy at the Bureau, but Cosmos' new project is nearing completion, and there's rumors of a mole in the organization. We cannot afford any leaks, so naturally I wanted the best of the best on the case. And Russian intelligence wasn't good enough for you, Mother? I still can't believe we came all the way to Russia just for this, when we're supposed to be hunting down Sombra. Don't be so petulant, darling. Aren't you happy to see your mother? Anyway, I was thinking that Sheriff Matthew should get a feel for Moscow, find their feet a little. And where better to begin than the Red Square? I'll meet you there, Sheriff Matthew. Matthew, you need to keep your wits about you. That woman cannot be trusted. Marina, you shouldn't talk about Ripley like that. I know we're all feeling betrayed right now, but we have to remember that the Chief had our best interests at heart. Oh, you were discussing your mother? Don't mind me then. And we're heading to the Red Square, Matthew? Well, you better wrap up warm. It's chilly out there. Here we go. Okay, it's not Marina's mother. Oh, looks like I got a crime report message, and I'll do that. See car. Oh, gold bracelet. Oh, that's a clue. Torn paper. Bear and Russian dolls. You got to be kidding me! Another country, another dead body? We have the worst luck, Matthew. Ah, Sheriff Matthew, you're already here. Oh my! I know this woman, Sheriff Matthew. Her name's Daria Chernova. I almost didn't recognize her with her glasses missing. They have a unique tortoiseshell design. They must be around here somewhere. No matter where they are, Sheriff Matthew will find them. We're going to have to ask you to stand aside, Miss Romanova. Sheriff Matthew will need to talk to you about the murder in a moment. Have you grabbed any clues, Matthew? Some torn pieces? You're right, they were just next to the victim's hand. She must have dropped them. And a gold bracelet. I can't read the inscription, though. Do you think you can make out the letters?
I personally made one of New York's three mistakes with Mr. Stokes. As a former attorney general, it pains me to say it, but New York does not deserve another bite of this apple. Well, we're sorry if Miss Martin feels bad, but New York State
Let's autopsy. And I'm gonna grab some stars. I'll be right back. Alright, I got me 6 stars. I think I'll ask Natasha Romanova first. Miss Romanova, what can you tell us about the victim? Daria was one of my most trusted employees. She worked for me at Cosmos for years. Daria was head of project management. She was my right-hand woman, in charge of funding and implementing new projects. She might have had a high-flying job, but she wouldn't have hurt a fly. I simply can't imagine why anyone would want to do something like this to someone as harmless as Daria. Unless she uncovered something about the mole in Cosmos. Yes, that must be it. She must have identified the mole and they killed her to avoid being unmasked. Oh, this is all my fault. If only I'd called you sooner, Sheriff Matthew. Maybe Daria would still be alive. Let's not jump to conclusions just yet, Miss Romanova. Sheriff Matthew will examine all the evidence and get to the bottom of this murder. Okay, I'll examine the gold bracelet now. DAR. Yeah. Oh no. I just missed out on the 9. Daria and Oleg. What does the nameplate on this gold bracelet say? Daria and Oleg. So the bracelet belonged to our victim. And I'd bet my bottom dollar that this Oleg was her husband. We better inform him of his wife's death, Matthew. All things aside, Oleg's face looks like he might have done. He looks like he might be a winner. Mr. Chernov, I'm afraid Sheriff Matthews here to inform you that your wife has been murdered. Can you think of anyone who might have wanted to hurt her? What the hell would I know? I hardly ever saw the woman. She was always working. All Daria ever cared about was her job. It was always job first, Oleg second. You don't seem very upset about her murder. How much have you drank, may I ask? And that's another thing. She always say Oleg drink too much, but not true. Bride, Oleg not drink too much, Daria not drink enough. Matthew, I don't think we're going to get anything of use out of this guy. Stick around, Mr. Chernov. We'll talk to you again when you're sober. Aha! Got a 9. Check out this subway ticket, Matthew. It's just like the ones we used to get to the Red Square. It's all in Russian, but I've definitely seen these station names before. It looks like the victim traveled to our crime scene from Komsomolskaya station. Good thinking, Matthew. Let's retrace Daria's steps by heading to Komsomolskaya station. If we're lucky, we might find some clues about her killer. That station, I'll say. Right, that thing is one mouthful. Right, that's rough. Let's just call it the station. Can we call it the Let's just call it the Kind Station. Can we call it the Kind Station? The rat. It's not that one. Aha! Surveillance camera. Frame painting. traffic lights. And the rat. Sorry guys, tablet ran out of film room, or was running low on battery. You picked up a surveillance camera, Matthew. Great idea. If the victim came here, chances are that that camera caught her on video. You also grabbed some glasses? You're right. These must be the victim's glasses that Natasha told us about. She did say they had a tortoiseshell design. And you're right, there's a brown substance on them. Let's collect a sample. Okay, looks like I might have to refresh. So hold on, everyone. Okay, I got me up to 8 stars. Let's examine the surveillance camera. Oh no. Alright. Great job, Matthew. You unlocked that surveillance camera in a flash. No doubt our resident goth geek will be able to decipher all those files on it. Let's send the surveillance camera to Elliot. Nine hours. Alright. You collected a sample of that gross brown substance from the victim's glasses. Well, rather you than me, let's get it to Lars. Three hours. Alright, I'll let these three run their courses. And so for now, this is Matthew. See you then.
Get some dinner.
Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the victim's body. Pretty it, Matthew. I got pretty bored waiting for you to send me a new body, so I've taken up a new hobby. I started painting Matryoshka dolls. They're traditional Russian dolls made from wood, and each one contains a smaller doll. Best of all, I decided to paint each team member's face on a different doll. This one is DuPont, see? That's disturbing. Can we get back to our dead body, Angela? Well, you have a very Russian murder on your hands, I have to say. Your victim clearly suffered a wound to her neck, which severed one of the 2 carotid arteries. And here's a fun fact for you. In the right conditions, blood can spurt up to 30 feet following such an injury. Right. But why is this murder specifically Russian? Well, I examined the width of the wound and the jagged pattern in which the skin was perforated and determined that it was caused by broken glass. And combined with the fact I found traces of vodka in the wound, I can tell you that your victim was stabbed in the neck with a broken vodka bottle. So we're looking for a vodka-drinking killer. Well, it'll soon be last orders with you on their trail. Matthew?
Please, be quiet, Mr. Rager. You're not conducting here. Without revealing anything your husband may have said to you, was there anything unusual about his appearance as he came out?
He was nervous.
Alright, surveillance camera now. Matthew, I'm not sure you know what you're getting yourself into here. The surveillance camera you picked up in the subway station shows your victim being followed by another woman. Thing is, I scanned the woman's face into the database, and this so-called Anya Ivanovna is like a ghost. I looked up her records and they're almost empty. They just say she's held an unspecified job within the government for several years. What's suspicious about that?
I'd like a moment to confer with the witness, Your Honor. Good night.
Come on, Archer. A government-employed ghost in Russia? Haven't you ever heard of the MGB? It's the only one of the most infamous organizations in the world. The MGB is in charge of both Russia's domestic security and foreign intelligence. So our victim was being followed by an MGB agent? I agree. We need to talk to this Anya, Matthew.
The E-ZPass records show that your car left the city before Mr. Esser was killed. My husband was driving my car.
About following the victim?
I was having trouble with the brakes. Carl took my car.
Care to explain this footage of you following a woman who he later found murdered, Miss Ivanova? I don't have to explain myself to you. This is a matter of national security. We don't need the Bureau involved. I beg to differ, considering the head of Cosmos invited us here herself. She clearly thinks you need the Bureau's help. And besides, need I remind you that the Bureau has treaties with countries all over the world, including Russia? We're here with the support of your government, not to work against you. The MGB has a handle on the matter. Oh, really? And how exactly does the MGB have a handle on things? If you must know, the organization has been carrying out surveillance on all of Cosmos' employees since we heard about the possible mole. But, well, to be honest, we have yet to find out who it is. Well, don't go far, Anya. Sheriff Matthew is the one keeping tabs now. Okay, brown substance. Matthew, you're just in time. I've got a joke for you. Knock, knock. Who's there? Termite? Termite who? Termite be something wrong with your glasses. It's me, Lars. Get it? Termite? Thermite? You've lost me there, dude. Admittedly, it's funnier in an Irish accent, but Angela has forbidden me from ever doing my Irish impression again. Moving on. Can you tell us anything about the brown substance on the victim's glasses, bro? The substance was beef stroganoff, a delicious Russian dish containing beef and sour cream. And as the victim's glasses obviously didn't end up on the subway by themselves, that means the killer must have touched them. So we're looking for a killer who eats beef stroganoff. Well, they've definitely got a beef with you, Matthew. I think it's time for a recap, Matthew. Natasha Romanova called us here to investigate a security breach in Russia's space program. But instead, we found one of Cosmos' employees murdered, and we have no idea who's behind it. Natasha believes that the victim uncovered something about the supposed mole within Cosmos, and that's what got her killed. Then there's Anya, an MGB spy who was monitoring our victim's movements, but claims it was just routine surveillance. And all this just seems like one big distraction from Sombra. We still have no idea what they're up to. Hey guys, you'll never guess what I've just managed to do. I've hacked into the MGB's servers. Well, look at chapter 2 after this. Alright folks, it is Matthew here. We are back playing Criminal Case on Facebook, World Edition Case 13, Moscow Mole. Let's go to chapter 2. Matthew, we've made no headway with this murder, and it's not getting us any closer to Sombra. We came here to Moscow to investigate the possibility of a mole in Cosmos, but now we think our mole might also be a murderer. Natasha is convinced that Darya uncovered something about the mole and paid the ultimate price for it. We also know that Anya was tailing our victim shortly before her Hey guys, you'll never guess what I've just managed to do. I've hacked into the MGB servers. You've hacked into the servers of one of the world's most powerful organizations? Try not to get us arrested. We've only just arrived in Russia. You're going to thank me for this one, Archer. I pulled up the MGB's records on Darya and discovered something. Your victim used to visit Gorky Park at exactly the same time every day, always alone. And Gorky Park's a pretty cool place, actually. It houses a life-size prototype of the Buran spaceship. But I digress. The MGB was trying to figure out what Darya was doing there, but they didn't have any luck. But where the MGB failed, I bet Matthew will succeed. Let's go check out Gorky Park.
threatening and criminal property damage. Jorge is assigned to the traffic division. His police powers have been restricted during the investigation. He has not yet been charged.
Honolulu Police Department actively training to get ready for an active shooter incident on Oahu. It also offers a presentation for businesses, schools, community groups, all to let the public know what
Photograph.
if they find themselves in that terrible situation.
Dog. Bucket. Moon. Folder. Oh, I see the trash can.
In the U.S. since 2000. In the first 7 years, there are about an average of 6 a year, but in the last 7 years, that's up to more than 16 per year, and that's why police are encouraging the public to be
Third place already.
I would stress that you need every business and school would probably have to have some type of a plan, emergency action plan in place, and to practice that. Because again,
Score! You've grabbed a folder with the Cosmos logo on it. You better recover the missing info, Matthew. And check out this photo. It looks like Daria was enjoying a cozy dinner. But who's this guy? I'll let you find a match in the database. You also picked up a trash can? Well, don't look at me. I'm not getting my hands dirty looking through it.
HPD to come to your business or school. You can contact the department through their website, honolulupd.org.
I'm gonna get a couple stars. I'll be back. Alright, I got a couple stars. Let's examine the mysterious man.
I have one in my yard. I'm always in the pond, fixing it, cleaning it. And this is very much the same kind of thing, except much bigger.
The initial price tag to fix the fountain couldn't get any bigger. The first estimate, nearly $500,000.
And when we're
Okay.
the initial point is to rebuild the fountain, kind of what you're asking about. But we don't want to take some taxpayers' dollars and rebuild something that actually is really beautiful and defines an area that
Liam Hall.
and maintain it.
Okay.
After seeing the hefty price tag,
You found a match in the database for that guy Daria was dining with. His name's Liam Hall, and according to our records, he's a 26-year-old from the UK who's been in Russia for just over a year.
sharing a logo
I wonder what a young British guy would be doing having dinner with a Russian paper pusher.
the mayor,
Let's ask this Liam how he knows the victim.
who actually fixed the fountain.
They were done in our parks and around the city. And there are people who could do it from. But it just ends up
About his relationship with the victim?
if he goes in there and he doesn't do it correctly and there's a loose wire.
Liam, can you explain this photo of you with Daria Chernova? You look pretty close. Sure, that was just a cozy dinner between friends. The beef stroganoff I had was exceptional. Daria often invites me to her business dinners instead of her husband. She says he always shows her up. Just between us, I think he might have a bit of an alcohol problem. I mean, I love a bit of vodka, but you have to know when enough is enough, right?
TV by Lynn.
Anyway, why are you asking me about Daria?
coming up next.
Sheriff Matthews here to inform me that Daria has been found murdered. Wait, what? Daria's dead? That's tragic, Sheriff Matthew. I'll really miss the time we spent together. I do enjoy the company of an older woman.
On the highlights of the past 12 months, analysis he's making about Hawaii's homeless problem. Hello, I'm feeling right.
Trash can now.
This is Eric Dusty, Commissar Major for the United States Army Japan.
My name is Ryan Dusty, and here's my great honor.
Aha. War and Peace, a bloody book.
Melly Kalicki.
Check out this book you found in the trash can, Matthew. It's covered in blood. You're right. There's no blood on the trash can itself, so someone must have been trying to hide the book in there. The title is War and Peace, and it was written by Tolstoy. Well, that's hardly light reading, Matthew. No wonder somebody tossed it in the trash. Sorry, Matthew, I know. Tolstoy's supposed to be one of the greatest Russian authors ever. Let's just get the book to Lars. Good idea. 12 hours. And the faded folder. A funding request. So what does it say on that Cosmos folder, Matthew? It reads application for funding, and it's addressed to our victim. Let's get this to Elliot, stat. "6 hours, I bet." Yep. Alright, I'll let these two run their courses, and for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back playing Criminal Case on Facebook. Let's get the results of the bloody book. Moscow Mole, Case 13. First I need to help someone with a crime report. Bloody book. "Oh hey guys, I was just reading this book you sent me." Boring. Who wants to read Tolstoy? And that book is a piece of evidence, you know. Dude, Tolstoy is anything but boring. I saw this great adaptation of War and Peace the other day. It was wicked. We should totally watch it for our next movie night. I'll pencil it into my diary. Anyway, what did you find out about the blood on the book? Well, I checked with Angela, and the blood on the book belongs to your victim. I guess the killer must have tried to get rid of it after the murder. And Matthew is right. That means our killer reads Tolstoy. Well, they'll have plenty of time for reading once they're behind bars. Darn it, Matthew, we need more leads. All we know is that we're looking for a Tolstoy-reading murderer. And that our victim took a 26-year-old kid to her official dinners. What kind of leads are those? And the fact Sombra is still lurking in the shadows is making me nervous. For all we know, they could be operating here in Russia, right under our noses. You think we should go back to the subway station, Matthew? Well, I don't have a better suggestion. Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll get the results of that other one later. In a bit, anyway. Shredded paper. A tricycle. Mop and bucket. Knuckle knife. Well, that's a new one. Magazine. Camera over here looks like my old camera. Up to third already. Jack of diamonds right there. Whoa, be careful where you point that blade, Matthew. That thing looks pretty dangerous. I wonder what someone was doing with it in the subway. And you're right, the blade is covered in hair. Well, I'll let you collect a sample if you think it might be useful. And nice, you found some shredded paper? I put it back together myself, but I'm sure you could use the practice. Dude, I think you need some practice. Alright. It's a note. Check this out, Matthew. That shredded paper you found in the subway is an email sent to Daria. The message reads, Miss Chernova, we are willing to pay $5 million in exchange for the classified information that we have requested. We await your response. So somebody was prepared to pay Daria $5 million for classified information? That sounds like she was the one doing the spying. Though to be honest, I'd almost consider becoming a mole myself for that kind of money. I'm sorry, Matthew, I know, this is a serious matter. You're right, maybe Natasha was wrong about Daria being killed by the mole. Maybe Daria was the mole. We need to inform Natasha now. Email received by the victim. Let's make this quick, Sheriff Matthew. My beef stroganoff is getting cold and my vodka is getting warm. Natasha, Sheriff Matthew found an email offering Daria money in exchange for classified information. We believe it's possible that she may have been the mole in Cosmorus. This can't be possible. How dare Daria betray me like that? I trusted her implicitly. I really thought I knew Daria, but I suppose, as Tolstoy says, we can know only that we know nothing. Nothing is certain yet, but we also need to know what information the victim had access to, so we can determine what she might have leaked. I'm sorry, but that's out of the question, Sheriff Matthew. That information is classified. You don't seem very eager to help our investigation, Natasha. Maybe you'd already realized that Daria was the mole and decided to take matters into your own hands. How dare you suggest such a thing, Sheriff Matthew? I'm a government official, not some common thug. Well, if Sheriff Matthew finds out that you did kill Daria, being a government official won't help you escape a prison sentence. Personally, I hope it's not her. That's Natasha's mom. I understand why. That's Marina's mother. I'd understand why she'd want to do that. But I'll get the funding request results now. Alright, Matthew. That folder which was addressed to your victim was a real snooze fest. I thought space stuff would be fun, but it's all paperwork and red tape. Anyway, the documents outline the details of a new spacesuit project, led by a certain Nikolai Sharapov. Sharapov is one of Cosmos' lead scientists, and this was his application for funding for the spacesuit project. An application which was awaiting approval by our victim. You're right, Matthew, we better go talk to this Nikolai. About his working relationship. Nikolai, can you tell us about your relationship with Daria Chernova? She's one of the biggest shots at Cosmorus. I have to go through her to request funding for all of my projects. Though if I had my way, I'd just deal with the head of Cosmorus directly. Daria is simply a power-hungry pen pusher, in my opinion. Every time I have a meeting with her, I have to have a shot of vodka beforehand to steal my nerves. Just the thought of the future of my hard work depending on that woman's whims makes me sick to my stomach. I could almost throw up that beef stroganoff I ate earlier. Well, your projects won't depend on Daria anymore. We found her murdered. She's dead? That's terrible news, Sheriff Matthew. It's going to be even harder to get my funding approved in time now. Okay, knuckle knife. Got it. You collected a sample of the hair on the knuckle knife. Let's stick it under the microscope. Aha! Oleg Chernov's hair. The hair on that knuckle knife you found belongs to Oleg Chernov. A weapon like that could do some serious damage in the hands of someone who drinks that much vodka. You're right, I think we need another chat with the victim's husband, Matthew. before we do that, I'm gonna get the rest of the stars. Alright, I got me the rest of the stars here, as you can see. So I have a #1 ranking, but for how long, I don't know. Now let's ask Oleg Chernov about his knuckle knife. See what this guy has to say. Mr. Chernov, can you explain what you were doing with the knuckle knife in the subway station? You could do some serious harm with a weapon like that. Oh, you found that, Sheriff Matthew. Well, I have nothing to be ashamed of. Daria was cheating on me. What? Your wife was having an affair and you didn't think to tell us? Do you have any proof? No, but a husband just feels these things. She was neglecting her wifely duties. Her beef stroganoff was terrible and she forgot to buy me razors. Look at my face. I had to shave with my knuckle knife. The same knife you were presumably planning to attack her with? Of course I was not planning to attack Daria. I followed her into the subway to try to catch her in the act. It was a man she was cheating with that I planned to attack. If only I could have found him. Anyway, leave me in peace with my vodka, Sheriff Matthew. As much as I'd like to arrest this douche, he doesn't even read Tolstoy, so he's clear. Matthew, tell me you're close to wrapping up this investigation. What have you learned so far? Well, we know that Daria was offered money to act as a mole within Cosmorus, but we have no idea whether she actually went through with it or not. And it doesn't help that Natasha won't tell us exactly what information the victim had guys, you remember how I mentioned that I'd hacked into the MGB servers earlier? Well, they kind of noticed. Oh no. Elliot, what have you gotten us into this time? Oh boy. We'll have to sort this out in Chapter 3. See you for that. Alright folks, it is Matthew here. We are back. Playing Criminal Case on Facebook, Case 13, World Edition, Moscow Mole. We just finished Chapter 2, and Elliot just put us in a bind again. Guys, you remember how I mentioned that I'd hacked into the MGB servers earlier? Well, they kind of noticed. You've got to be kidding me, Elliot. The MGB knows you hacked into their servers? Yeah, and they're, not too happy about it. I've managed to hold off their attempts to hack into the Bureau servers in retaliation so far, but you need to wrap up this investigation before the MGB can jeopardize our entire network. Oh, great. I'm sure that'll be a real help in figuring out whether our victim was the Cosmos mole and who killed her. Don't you, Matthew? Well, we know the victim went to Gorky Park every day, and we know she might have leaked information, so perhaps she went there to meet a contact. Quick, let's go. Victim's bag. Open notebook. That must be the 2 clues. Oh no, we have another one. Locked phone. Toy train. 6 seconds. Come on, Matthew, tell me you've grasped some clues. We're running out of time. The MGB could shut down our servers any minute now. You picked up a bag with the name D. Chernova embroidered on it? That's our victim. We better get looking through it. And you're right, this phone must have fallen out of Daria's bag. Look, it has a picture of Daria and Oleg in the background. You'd better unlock it, and fast. And there's the victim's picture in that notebook. We need to recover the missing info. This could blow the case wide open. I'll grab some stars first. I'll be right back. Well, although I have only one more star to go on the crime scene that I just came from, I'm gonna just get some more energy and maybe try and get the rest of it on my tablet. But let's examine the phone. USR A3E. Perfect. Wow. Whoa, that's quite the set of abs in that photo on the victim's phone, Matthew. Though obviously they're not as good as mine. Hey, you're right. We know this guy. That's Liam, our victim's friend. What was Daria doing with a picture of Liam like that on her phone? I don't know about you, Matthew, but I don't usually have sexy selfies of my friends on my phone. And check out this message. It reads, 200,000 rubles and I'm yours. 200,000 rubles? That must be something like $3,000. I agree. We need to ask Liam about this straight away. Ten of clubs. Let's ask Liam Hall about this. So, Liam, you forgot to mention the victim was paying you to be her friend. 200,000 rubles, eh? You're hardly selling yourself cheap. Well, I could offer you a discount if you like. A discount? Don't try to change the subject. It won't work. Did Daria refuse to pay you for your services and you killed her? Is that it? Of course not. Daria was very happy with my performance and she paid well. Though to be honest, I didn't think our relationship would end this way. But as Tolstoy says, everything ends in death. Everything. Well, if Sheriff Matthew discovers you had a hand in Daria's murder, everything will end in prison for you. Now he's in the running. My money's on Liam Hall. Aha! Torn paper. You found some torn pieces in the victim's handbag, Matthew? Let's get piecing them back together. Let's get piecing them back together then. Torn paper. Kind of looks like a check. In fact, it is a check. Check it out, Matthew. This check you found in the victim's handbag was from Cosmorus. It was addressed to Nikolai, that scientist we met earlier. But Daria crossed out his name and added her own instead. Does this mean that the victim was embezzling Cosmorus' money? You're right. We obviously can't ask Daria about this, but we can talk to Nikolai. I'll just rake it in the coin notices. Let's ask Nikolai Sharapov about his check. Nikolai, Sheriff Matthew found a check addressed to you, but the victim was clearly intending to cash it in hers. I knew it! I knew she was stealing my funding money. Wait, you knew the victim was stealing money from Cosmos and you didn't think to tell us? Well, I didn't know exactly, but I always suspected it. Daria was as corrupt as they come. I don't know how she ever got a government job. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised, though. Crooks like Daria always come off best. Perhaps Tolstoy was right when he said, one must be cunning and wicked in this world. Well, let's hope he didn't kill her based on your suspicions, else funding will be the least of your worries. Okay, faded notebook. Oh, it's in Russian. No way we can read this. Great, you've recovered the text written next to our victim's picture in that notebook you found. And it's all written in Russian, of course. What do we do now? Oh, good thinking, Matthew. Marina will be able to tell us what this says. Let's send the notebook to her, quick. "9 hours. And I'll get the remaining results when we return." Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the Russian writing. Have you found out what my mother is up to yet, Matthew? Oh, come on, Marina. There's no reason to be jealous of your mother. Now, what can you tell us about the message in the notebook? It simply reads, "This woman will ruin me," written over and over again. The repetition suggests an obsession with the target, who is obviously your victim. While the spacing between the letters implies that the person who wrote it was a woman, furthermore, the rigidity with which the letters are penned demonstrates the writer's pathological need for order, despite the obvious frustration in the message. Trust me, Matthew, this shows all the hallmarks of an MGB agent. A female MGB agent? Seems like Anya didn't tell us the whole truth when we questioned her about following the victim, Matthew. We need to talk to her about this notebook.
The race is the 4th largest in the U.S. and has turned into one of the greatest draws for tourism.
About her notebook?
Since it's right before the holiday season.
You need to explain this notebook, Anya. Writing "This woman will ruin me" over and over again? Seems like you were pretty fixated on our victim. How embarrassing. I thought I disposed of that. Did you find out that Daria has been offered money to leak classified information from Cosmorus? A breach like that wouldn't have looked good for the MGB. So that's what it was. I knew she was hiding something, I just couldn't figure out what. You wouldn't believe how many nights I sat at home eating beef stroganoff and drinking vodka, trying to figure out what she was doing. Vodka and beef stroganoff, eh? Funny you should mention those, since our killer likes both. So do a lot of people, Sheriff Matthew. A foreign organization like the Bureau being brought in as a professional failure for me. The MGB prides itself on its efficiency. I guess I just didn't try hard enough. Like Tolstoy said, a battle is won by him who is firmly resolved to win it. Well, if Sheriff Matthew finds out you were behind Daria's murder, the only thing you'll be winning is a lengthy prison sentence. Now she's in the running. This investigation has taken an unexpected turn, Matthew. We originally thought Daria was just a paper pusher, but she seems to have been devious in all aspects of her life. Not only did she steal Nikolai's funding and possibly sell confidential information, she was also paying Liam for favors. That's just wrong, Matthew. Matthew, office hours are almost over, which means that local workers are starting to gather at the Christmas market on your crime scene. Oh man, between that and the MGB on our backs, we need to get back there before any last clues are lost in the crowds.
A sense of security. At IDW Local 1260, we cherish these items that, like you, we call home. We work in the electrical utilities, broadcast media, and in defense of the nation. We're your neighbors, driven and committed, always working towards the best for our members, communities, and their own home. Because there's no place like home. We are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1260, organizing the future.
Growing up on Maui, I was just another kid who wanted to go down to the beach and play in the water. Now I play in the water all over the world.
Aha! I think I see a clue. Yep. Bottle handle. Gingerbread man, a snowman. Ah, that's a clue. Pancakes. Gift box and the deer head. Fourth place.
The Mini has grown up. Introducing the newest Mini, the hardtop 4-door. Double the doors and classy, sophisticated, intelligent, and very cool. Or check out the Countryman, Mini's other 4-door. Plus the true.
Whoa, Matthew. I know we don't always get along, but please don't hit me with that broken bottle. Oh, right. Angela did say that the victim had been stabbed with a broken vodka bottle. You just found our murder weapon, Matthew. Good thinking. We should take a sample of that dried blood on the bottle. If we're lucky, it might not just be the victims. But why are you interested in that snowman? The snowman wasn't there the first time we investigated the crime scene, so what? Oh right, the kids who made this might have accidentally scooped up some evidence with the snow. You better get looking through the snowman then.
First Select Portfolio Protection. Policy tailored to you. Only from First Insurance of Hawaii. Get a quote today.
Popeyes, Louisiana.
I'm gonna do it now.
Our 12-hour marinated fried chicken. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Providing closed captioning for KITV 4 News.
Welcome back. It was so nice and breezy today, but not for much longer. Here's the big one. We still have pressure that's already trending.
You collected a sample of that blood on the bottle handle like a pro, Matthew. Let's send it to Lars before the MGB compromises our investigation.
Further ease and blocking the trades, bringing in some muggy conditions. So
15 hours.
to move on and taking control about some of the wind. Take a look at this Doppler radar showing us the direction of the winds and where it's really winds still play right now, but you can see there's a shift of that southeast
A napkin.
into our weather patterns happening.
You found a dirty napkin in that snowman? Well, I guess we have nothing to lose. We need to wrap up this investigation before the MGB jeopardizes our entire network. Let's get the napkin to Lars, quick.
That's what we're expecting over the next several days.
Okay, 9 hours. I'll let these two run their courses, and I'll get the results tomorrow morning. See you then. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the blood first. Trying to extract the killer's blood from your victim's blood on the bottle was a bloody nightmare, Matthew. So the dried blood on the murder weapon was a mixture of the victim's and the killer's blood? It sure was. Obviously, I haven't had enough time to do a full DNA profile on the killer's blood. But I can tell you that your killer has red hair. Great work, Lars. That narrows the list of suspects down. Let's keep an eye out for this red-haired killer, Matthew. Let me see. Oh, Marina's mom does have red hair. It's either Liam Hall or Natasha Romanova. Well, napkin will tell us. Dude, what can you tell us about that napkin Matthew sent you? Well, the stain was beef stroganoff, which proves it belongs to your killer. But I don't know if you noticed that the pattern of the stain was broken by an object placed in front of it. I took the outline of the shape and ran it through the database. It took a few hours, but I managed to figure out exactly what left that outline in the stain. Don't keep us waiting, bro. What was it? That shape was made by a coin necklace. So now I know that the killer is wearing a coin necklace. They won't have much use for coins where they're going, Matthew. This is it, Matthew. You gathered all the evidence you need to arrest Daria Chernova's killer. Let's do this. It is not Natasha Romanova. It is not Oleg Chernov. It is not Anya Ivanova, rather. It is Liam Hall. Liam Hall, you're under arrest for the murder of Daria Chernova. What? That's ridiculous, Sheriff Matthew. I would never have hurt Daria. I even started reading Tolstoy so he has something to discuss. Speaking of which, we found your copy of War and Peace in the trash, covered in Daria's blood. That could have been anyone's book. There's no proof it's mine. Sheriff Matthew also found your napkin, covered in beef stroganoff, except for a perfect circle which matches the coin necklace you're wearing. So what? Eating beef stroganoff isn't a crime. And how do you explain your blood on the handle of the broken vodka bottle which you used to stab Daria? Oh God, I really did kill her, didn't I? We went out for dinner the night Daria was killed. I was taking advantage of the alcohol flowing and we both got drunk. I just remember us walking through Red Square when we started arguing. Daria kept pressuring me to do a favor for her, you see. We don't need to hear any more about your favors, Liam. You don't get it. It wasn't sexual. She just wanted me to drop off a briefcase for her. I don't know what it contained, but I'm not stupid. I knew she couldn't have been up to any good. I left the UK to escape all the trouble I'd gotten into there. I didn't want to do the same here. But then I blacked out. I woke up in my bed the next morning with no memory of what happened after the argument and a nasty cut on my hand. Well, you better hope the judge cuts you a lenient sentence because you're under arrest for Daria's murder. Liam Hall, you stand accused of killing Daria Chernova. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, but it was a terrible accident. I just lost my temper. I wouldn't have killed one of my best clients on purpose. Your client? Oh yes, I see it says here that you've been working as an escort. If you don't mind me asking, how much does one make in that line of work? I sometimes wonder if it's not too late for a career change. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Given that the murder was not premeditated, the International Court hereby sentences you to 5 years in prison. Well, I guess my services might come in useful in there. Congratulations on putting Liam Hall behind bars, Matthew. But you still need to figure out whether or not your victim actually succeeded in leaking any of Cosmos' information. It won't be easy given that Natasha has refused to tell us what information Daria had access to. But if anyone can succeed, I'm sure it's you, Matthew. So it was Liam Hall. Nikolai Sharapov, no red hair. Natasha Romanova, no coin necklace. For a minute I almost thought it was really her. Oleg Chernov doesn't read Tolstoy, and no red hair. Anya Ivanova, no red hair. It was Liam Hall. I'll see you guys for the additional investigation. Alright folks, it is Matthew here. We are back. Playing Criminal Case on Facebook, Case 13, World Edition, Moscow Mole. Let's go to Darkness Descends 1. Matthew, good job arresting Liam Hall for the murder of Daria Chernova. But we still need to determine whether the victim succeeded in selling any of Cosmos' classified information. It'd be a lot easier if my mother would just tell us what information Daria had access to, Matthew. Though thinking about it, the MGB does have all of Cosmos' employees under surveillance, so perhaps it wouldn't hurt if we had a little chat with Anya about my mother. Good idea, Marina, and we also need to find out who sent Daria that email offering her $5 million in exchange for classified information. I reckon we should have a chat with Liam, Matthew. After all, Daria confided in him about the information drop-off. Who knows what else she might have told him. Let's do this. Let's question Anya first. Anya, I hear you're the best MGB agent in town, so I'm sure you gathered plenty of information on my mother, Natasha Romanov. Natasha's under surveillance, of course. But I can't tell you any more than that. The MGB doesn't release its secrets to foreign organizations. The Bureau is admitting that we need your help, Anya. Wouldn't it look good if you helped us pin down a criminal? Well, I suppose I could give you some non-classified information, Sheriff Matthew. I was tailing Natasha about half an hour ago, but I lost her on the subway. If you head there now, you might be able to pick up her trail. And here, take this money to help your investigation. Bringing down a corrupt government official would definitely stand out on my resume. Oh, right away, I'm getting 20 grand. Well, right away, let's investigate Komsomolskaya Station. Aha! High-heeled shoe. And just my luck, there's some stuff on it too. Okay. There's no sign of my mother, but I'm positive this shoe you picked up belongs to her, Matthew. Honestly, she's the only woman in Moscow who dare to wear high heels in the ice and snow. I bet she lost it while she was giving Anya the slip. You think we should vacuum up a sample of that dirt on the shoe? Let's do it then. Let's examine the high-heeled shoe. Got it. And it's dirt. Great job, Matthew. You collected a sample of the dirt from my mother's high heel. Let's put it under the microscope and see if it can shed any light on her movements. Examine the dirt. Okay. Aha. Oh, there we are. Gorky Park's dirt. What does the microscope report say about the substance on my mother's shoe, Matthew? So the substance was dirt, no surprises there, but it also contained flakes of metal. And the metal flakes are made of an old aluminum composite that was used to build space shuttles? What's that, Matthew? Right, there's an old space shuttle in Gorky Park. We need to head there immediately. Briefcase. What the heck is that? Oh, there it is, the boomerang. Wow, 30 seconds it took me to get this crime scene over with. That briefcase you picked up has my mother's name on it, Matthew. If there's anything we can pin on her, I'm sure it'll be inside. You're the whiz at decoding these things, so I'll let you unlock the briefcase. Q80. Alright. Check out all these folders in my mother's briefcase, Matthew. I agree, we don't have hours to spend trying to figure out what they contain. Elliot will get the job done. Let's send it to him. 6 hours. Now let's question Liam Hall about the info. Liam, what can you tell us about Daria's attempt to sell classified information? Was it the first time she tried to leak information from Cosmorus? It was the first drop-off that she'd asked me to do, but I knew she'd done others in the past. How do you think she funded our encounters? This drop-off was supposed to be the biggest yet, but Daria knew she was under surveillance by the MGB. It was too risky for her to carry it out herself. That's why she asked me to do it. And what about the buyer? Do you know who was supposed to pick up the briefcase? I have no idea. All I can tell you is that Daria carried out the previous drop-offs in the Red Square. The Red Square, eh? Well, let's head back there and see if we can find any clues about our mystery buyer, Matthew. Alright. Salmon Row. Rocket. Aha! Christmas bag. Oh boy. Rooster. Oh, this is just not my time. Aha. Lucky thing I'm already done with this crime scene and getting all the stars. You found a bag full of Christmas stuff, Matthew. Great, that'll save me some Christmas shopping. I'm just kidding. Of course you want to look through the bag. Let's get started. Looks like a gift card. A key card. Okay. For Daria Chernova. And I just got the 9 in time. Great, you found a... What's that thing you found on the bag of Christmas stuff, Matthew? Oh, it's a key card? And you're right, it has Daria's name on it. Well, I have no clue what it could unlock, but you're right. Elliot might. Let's send the key card to him, quick. Okay, 9 hours. I'll let these two run their courses, and I'll see you for them. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of Natasha's files. Good news, Marina. These documents put your mother in the clear. Wait, what? That's not possible, Matthew. I know what government officials are like here in Russia. They're all as corrupt as each other. Just look at your victim. Honestly, Marina, I took a look at the folders and you got it all wrong. Natasha is actually working to bring down a corrupt organization. These folders are full of documents detailing the illegal activities of one of Cosmos' contractors. Natasha realized that they were siphoning off government money, and she amassed enough proof for a criminal investigation. But I know my mother, Matthew. Even if she's doing something good, then it's no doubt for the wrong reasons. And I thought I had issues with my parents, Matthew. I do not have issues with my parents. I promise you that everything my mother does is for personal gain, Matthew, and I will prove it. Let's go talk to her. About bringing down a corrupt organization. We hear you're in the process of bringing down a corrupt organization, Mother. Why don't you tell us what's in it for you? There's no need for such skepticism, darling. As a government official, I'm obliged to report the misuse of public funds. So the government only turns a blind eye to its own corruption. Is that it? Marina, I do wish you'd get over this personal vendetta against the government. Get over it? Bringing down the Russian president almost got me killed. Well, you did overreach a little, considering it was just a student project. Anyway, that's all in the past now. And to thank you for returning my files, I'd like you to have this, Matthew. Matryoshka doll. Well, thank you very much. I'll speed this up. The key card. This key card you found unlocks a bank vault, Matthew. Though obviously, even with the key card, only Daria herself could access the vault. But being the genius that I am, I managed to find the bank account linked to the vault, and what I found inside is going to make your day. Daria received a payment of $500,000 in July, then $700,000 in September, and another $500,000 in November. You're right, Matthew, it's not quite the $5 million mentioned in the email Daria received, but maybe that was just the beginning. Well, each payment came from a company called Global Flux Ltd. Limited, which claims to be a logistics firm. I was a bit confused about why a logistics company would be paying Daria so much, but then I realized a new recruit might have some ideas. Hello, Matthew. During my investigation into Sombra, I encountered a number of aliases. The group used them to hide their financial transactions, among other things. And Global Flux Limited is one of Sombra's aliases. So now we know that Daria was leaking Cosmos' classified information to Sombra. This doesn't bode well, Matthew. Sombra seems to crop up everywhere. What on earth could they want with information about Russia's space program? You're right, Natasha won't tell us anything. There's one other person who might know what information our victims sold. Nikolai. Matthew, if you don't mind, I'd like to come with you. I'm sure a nervous little guy like Nikolai will crack as soon as he lays eyes on me. About Cosmos' confidential info. Moment, folks. Okay. We have discovered a breach in Cosmos' security, little man. You need to tell us what you know now. A security breach? This is terrible news, Sheriff Matthew. It could be a disaster for Cosmos' projects. In fact, it could be disastrous for the world. Right, so you better tell Sheriff Matthew everything if you don't want my fist in your face, pal. Tell us what information Daria Chernova had access to. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I can't, Sheriff Matthew. The scientists simply don't have access to Cosmos' classified data. But I truly appreciate your efforts to protect the space program, Sheriff Matthew. So please let me offer you a burger, and don't let him hit me. I guess intimidation didn't really work on that guy, Matthew. You know, I'm not sure I'm cut out for this whole interrogation thing just yet. But if you find any weapons you want me to take a look at, I'll be at the office. Surely you cannot believe my mother over me, Matthew. She is corrupt. I know it. Just you wait and see. I'm with Marina on this one, Matthew. I know all about corrupt Russian government officials, and I don't have a good feeling about Natasha. See, even this blockhead agrees with me. Thank you would have been enough. Anyway, thanks to Matthew, we know that the classified information which Daria leaked was brought by Sombra. But we don't know why Sombra wants information relating to Russia's space program, or what it plans to do with it. Which is why it's imperative that Sheriff Matthew finds out exactly what documents Sombra has obtained. We've seen what Sombra is capable of. Their grand debut saw me killed, and their affiliation with the Prometheans and the Sword spread terror across Europe and the Sahara. Whatever they're plotting now, it's crucial that we stop them, Matthew. We've just had word from Natasha. Cosmos' internal security services have reported suspicious activity in St. Petersburg. If we're to stay hot on Sombra's trail, there's no time to lose. So get ready, because we're putting you on the next flight to St. Petersburg. Well, let's see. Okay, it's not out yet. I'll see you guys for when it is. So for now, that's a wrap on case 13. See you for case 14.